Hi, what's up? It's your boy Sports Wizard, and welcome back to another video on my channel. So today we're going to be doing the top 20 best NBA players of the playoffs. So let's get right into it. Some things to say. So yeah, if you guys watch my tennis videos, you guys might know I haven't uploaded in 3 days. You guys might be wondering, well, Djokovic is playing Belgrade 2 Open. Why not doing it? I figured I really needed a break, and I mean, it's not that big of a tournament because I mean, it only Djokovic is playing. So I just figured I needed a break for tennis from a little bit. But guys, do not worry, I will be coming back for the French Open main draw. And yeah, I'm going to be doing sick videos like Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer videos in the French Open. So just stay tuned for that. And yeah, I just wanted a break because for tennis, I actually upload every day, multiple times every day. So yeah, I just figured I needed a bit of a break. And I just figured that the tournament wasn't big enough because I did do Lyon and Geneva Open. If you guys want to watch that, you guys can go to those videos and watch them. So yeah. But yeah, the main thing is that guys, don't worry, I will be doing French Open predictions. So just stay tuned whenever they air for the French Open main draw. Anyway, so let's get right into the top 20 best players. So I just wanted to name a couple of honorable mentions because I mean, like, these guys were almost good enough to get into there, but I just figured they were a little bit of better players. So yeah. Ben Simmons and Rudy Gobert, two people that are in the candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. These two are phenomenal, like, actually Ben Simmons, 76ers is number one in the East, and Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz is number one in the West, and also Utah Jazz have the best record in the NBA right now. So yeah, I mean, both of them are defensive beasts, obviously. Both of them are second best players on the team. Joel Embiid is best for 76ers and Ben Simmons is second. And at least in my opinion, Donovan Mitchell is better than Rudy Gobert. But yeah, it's more closer than Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons because Joel Embiid is a MVP candidate level, like, I don't think he's the MVP. I think that goes to Nikola Jokic, but he's definitely top 3 MVP. So I just wanted to looking at these drafts because they were so close to getting into the list. And yeah, so now another question might spark. Who do you think is 21st and who do you think is 22nd? Well, I think Ben Simmons is 22nd and Rudy Gobert is 21st because I think the main difference I think the reason why Rudy Gobert will be, at least for me, a spot ahead of Ben Simmons is because the Utah Jazz have the best record in the West. And actually, I think who has been the best defensive player of the year, I think Rudy Gobert have actually been a better defensive player than Ben Simmons. Other than that, like, there's nothing really there. Like, I mean, they're both really good players, but I think Rudy Gobert deserves to be a bit higher than Ben Simmons. But yeah, regardless, these two are, like, really good. They just couldn't make the cut. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into the list. At 20, we have Julius Randle. So, I mean, some people might think, like, you put Julius Randle over these two. I mean, I think Julius Randle has improved the most, like, from nothing to, like Knicks superstar, he's the best player on the Knicks, averaging more than 20 points a game, like, carrying his Knicks team into the playoffs. Who would have expected a year ago that the Knicks would make the playoffs? I wouldn't. But still, like, he carried them there. And I don't think they even had to play in tournament. Yeah, they were 4th seed or 5th seed. So yeah, I mean, he was a leader for that team, and he played really well, more than 20 points a game, obviously. So yeah, he deserves to be at number 20. And number 19, we have Trae Young. Actually, the Knicks and the Hawks are playing a series right now. I think Trae Young is better because he's a better offensive player. He can create his own shots, better 3-point shooter. Even though the Hawks are not as good as the Knicks right now, they're lower seeded, right? But I still think the Hawks can win the series over the Knicks, but it definitely will be a tough one. Minimum 5 or 6 games, So yeah, I think Trae Young is just a bit better than Julius Randle because of that. At number 18, we have Russell Westbrook. So yeah, I mean, obviously Russell Westbrook, he's the leader for the Washington Wizards, along with Bradley Beal, but I think Russell Westbrook is better than Bradley Beal. But that doesn't affect, like, who's going to be better in the playoffs. The reason why Russ ranks here is because actually we all know his playoff status. Like, he doesn't play well at all. I mean, like, he's like top 5 best maybe like not top 5, but top 10 best player in the last decade from like 2000, as this 2021, but like what I mean like last decade, I mean, yeah, you could go like 2011 to 2021. He's been top 10 best players of all time in the last decade, and he's still continuing in this decade. Most triple doubles. He did win an MVP. So I believe it was 2017 to 18. No, I think it was 2016 to 17. Yeah. Yeah. So he was a phenomenal player. He still is. But yeah, we all know how he does in the playoffs. Never won a chip. You know, I just think that'll really affect him a lot. And also the second thing is his team is not good enough. Like they barely scraped it. He did lead the Wizards to the playoffs, but they barely scraped the playoffs. So yeah, I think that's why Russell Westbrook will be here. And number 17, well, guess who we have? Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal will perform a little bit better than Westbrook because we all know how Westbrook performs in the playoffs. But I think Bradley Beal will really be the one that shows up in these playoffs, you know. Second most points in the NBA regular season. Like, yeah, this guy's a really good player. He's a scorer. He can create his own shots. Like, he can drive and get a layup. Like, this guy's just a scoring machine, you know. So, yeah, I think I'll perform a little bit better than Russell Westbrook. Obviously, he's a bit younger than Russell Westbrook. So, yeah, he has some time. I think he's 27 or 28 years old. So, yeah, I think he'll be at number 17. At number 16, we have Devin Booker. Speaking of age, he's only 24 years old. This guy's been solid for 3, 4, 5 years, you know. Maybe not 5, but 3 or 4 years, you know. Won a 3-point contest before. Obviously, he's playing with Chris Paul on the Suns. Second best record in the NBA and second best in the Western Conference. This guy will give you 25 points a game. I mean, he's a wonderful scorer. Like Bradley Beal, he can create his own shots and make them, you know. So he's gonna give you 25 points a game. Just a phenomenal scorer. His scoring, along with Chris Paul's passing, dribbling, like Chris Paul's like, you know, like vision, his playmaking vision, and Devin Booker scoring just creates the Suns team to be phenomenal. So yeah, I'm gonna give Devin Booker at number 16. Number 15, we have Paul George. Obviously, this guy's a meme, you know, like a lot of people like meme on this guy, but yeah, he's averaging 23 points a game, the second best player on the Clippers. The Clippers are third best in the West, I believe. Yeah, along with Kawhi Leonard, these two guys are dominant forces. Like, yeah, like Paul George, he can give you points, you know. He can assist Kawhi Leonard. So yeah, he's just a phenomenal player all around. Number 14, we have Donovan Mitchell. And yeah, I mean, this might spark another thing. D-Book versus D-Mitch, who's better? I'm going D-Mitch for this one. Obviously, he wasn't as good at a young age like Devin Booker was, but he is averaging 1 more point a game. He is averaging 26 points in a game. Obviously, he also has the best record in the West and the best record in the NBA over the Suns, so I'm going to have to go D-Mitch with this one. But yeah, I mean, he can shoot, he can pass, he can dribble. Like, what else can he do? You know, like, what else can he not do, you know? Number 13, we have CP3. Actually, this guy's not much of a scorer, and that is his weakness. No offense, CP3. You're still, like, top MVP candidates level. Maybe, like, top 5. Maybe not top, yeah, maybe, like, for some people, top 5. Some people, top 10, you know. So, yeah, this guy's a phenomenal player. He can pass, he can dribble, he can assist. Obviously, the Suns have the second best record in the NBA and second best record in the West. So yeah, what else to just say about this guy? I mean, like, he never won a chip as well. He never won a chip. I hope that can change eventually in his career, but I don't think it will. Like, the Suns, I don't think he can lead them to a chip quite yet. But, I mean, we'll see. Like, so yeah, I mean, Chris Paul, top 10 MVP candidate. And number 12, we have Kyrie. Actually, this guy's not loaded with pressure, so I think he can just perform pretty well. He's not loaded with pressure at all, you know, because, like, we know the other two guys on this team that are loaded with pressure, and James Harden and Kevin Durant. But yeah, I mean, Kyrie's performing phenomenally. 26, 27, or 28 points, that's somewhere around there. Assisting KD. Obviously, like, last night he didn't perform too well. But, I mean, he still performed. I mean, he got yeah, like he didn't perform too well, but I mean, he still performed. You know, like obviously KD made 26 points last night, in which the Boston Celtics got swept by the Brooklyn Nets, obviously. So yeah, I mean, Kyrie's just a phenomenal player. He can assist. He's actually, people would think like in Big Three, he is the worst one, and I mean, I have to admit that as well. He is the worst one. But I mean, compared to James Harden and KD, MVP caliber players, and also Kyrie's only 28. So yeah. And now at number 11, we can speak about age for this one as well. This guy's only 23. I think he's like a really, really, really good shooter. When he gets older, I think he can be like Kevin Durant, exactly copy paste, because Kevin Durant in my eyes is the greatest shooter of all time. With MJ, maybe with MJ, Larry Bird, he's like one of the greatest shooters of all time. You might be like, one of the greatest shooters of all time? That's Steph Curry, right? That's only for three. Like Steph Curry is the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, and not the greatest shooter of all time. There's a difference between that. But yeah, I think Kevin Durant, the reason why I think he's one of the greatest shooters of all time in Michael Jordan, Larry Bird caliber is, and Wilt Chamberlain caliber is because he can shoot from anywhere. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain can't shoot from anywhere, but like his scoring abilities is like a lot, because the guy can't shoot free throws or 3-point shots, but still like MJ, Larry Bird caliber, because he can shoot from anywhere. Threes in the paint, free throws, corner shots. You know, like he can shoot from everywhere. Whereas Curry can't do that. He's mainly a 3-point shooter. So yeah, I think Jason Tatum might be on that caliber with Kevin Durant when he gets older. But yeah, coming to Jason Tatum, I mean, they are losing the series to the Nets, and I think they will lose it eventually. But I mean, Jason Tatum is young, you know, he can shoot from anywhere. But I mean, sadly, his sidekick Jaylen Brown is out. But still, I mean, he has to carry the Celtics on his back, and if they win the series, the credit should go to him mostly. So yeah, I mean, Jason Tatum, he's just a phenomenal player. He's young, so I mean, he has a long way to go. But I still think he can perform really well in the playoffs. At number 10, we have Jimmy Butler. So Jimmy Butler, I mean, obviously he carried the Heat to the NBA Finals last year. I don't think he can do it this year. But I mean, he's still carrying it on his shoulders. Like, obviously he's averaging 20 points a game, which I think is his second highest ever in a season for him. But I don't know, but he's averaging career highs on rebounds, assists, and steals. I'm not sure about points, but maybe points. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, this guy's carrying the Heat on his shoulders, you know. Yeah, the Heat have to play the Bucks, and I think they'll lose the series. Giannis, the Greek Freak, will get revenge on them. But still, I mean, just the fact that this guy's carrying his team, and I still think he'll perform really well in the playoffs as well. I still think he'll try to lead his team, but I don't think he can do any good, because I mean, his team is not even that good, except Bam Adebayo. I'm just gonna say that right now. Except Bam Adebayo, his team is not that great, you know. And at number 9, we have Damian Lillard. And speaking of people carrying their teams, we have Damian Lillard as well here. Third most points in the NBA. Like, second best shooter right now in the NBA after, second best 3-point shooter, in the NBA after Stephen Curry right now, at least in my opinion. He can shoot threes a lot. He can shoot half-court threes. He can shoot clutch time threes. I think he's the best clutch time 3 shooter in the NBA. Actually, Dame time, obviously, you know, like that's in the late moments. So I mean, Damian Lillard, like, he has to carry his team. The Portland Trailblazers, they're actually pretty low in the standings, but I think they'll lose the series as well. But Damian Lillard will try. I'll see. The other night, maybe like 2-3 days ago, he got 42 points, which that's really good, obviously. So yeah, I mean, Damian Lillard deserves to be number 9, at least for me. Number 8, we have AD. So obviously yesterday night he got 34 points, in which the Lakers beat the Suns. So yeah, I mean, LeBron, one of the best duos, you know, in the NBA right now. Like, yeah, I mean, what do we say about him? But I The only problem I think for him is like he still might be a bit rusty. Honestly, yeah, yesterday night he was not rusty at all. He made 34 points. But I don't know. I'm not sure about him because it's kind of tricky because you don't know how he plays sometimes. Because actually, in that game one, he didn't play that well at all. He didn't play well at all. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I still think he'll perform really well. Like assist LeBron, like get his own points, 20+ points every match, every game. So yeah, I still think he played really well. At number 7, we have Joel Embiid. He was MVP in the beginning, at least for me, but he started falling off a little bit. And if you watch my MVP video, maybe like a couple of weeks to a month ago, I still said he was the MVP because I thought it was still in the regular season. So I'm like, maybe he can pull back, but now it's Nikola Jokic for the MVP for me. I think Embiid can get second though, but maybe second or maybe top 3. Maybe Curry can steal that from him as well. But yeah, we don't know. But I'll still give him second. But honestly, like Philadelphia 76ers is number 1 in the East over Brooklyn Nets, so that says something. Honestly, he and Ben Simmons one of the best duos in the NBA as well. So yeah, I mean he's a phenomenal player. 4th highest in NBA scoring, I believe, 28 points a game. Or Damian Lillard is 3rd. I think he has a 28 and a half, something like that. But they're both in the 28 range. So yeah, I mean he's a good player, one of the best centers in the game, 2nd best at least for me after Nikola Jokic. And number 6, we have Nikola Jokic. And you might be like, Nikola Jokic, but he's the MVP for many people. But I mean, I don't think he'll necessarily perform like really well in the playoffs because there's regular season MVP and playoffs, And I'm like, last season, I mean, the Nuggets did pretty good. I think they got maybe 2nd or 3rd round, I think they got. But yeah, I mean, Nikola Jokic, he's averaging 26 points a game. He and Embiid are actually averaging double-doubles. I have to say he and Embiid because I forgot to say that for Embiid. So yeah, and the Denver Nuggets are 4th in the West. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just a phenomenal player. But obviously, he doesn't have Jamal Murray, his duo. He and Jamal Murray are a duo. He doesn't have Jamal Murray, so I think he'll struggle a bit. But he'll still manage to get number 6 in the top 20 best NBA players of the playoffs. At least somewhere around there. At number 5, we have James Harden. I was like, Kyrie won't get as much pressure as James Harden and Kevin Durant. And yeah, James Harden is in number 5th right now. Number 5 in my predictions. Obviously, averaged 25 points a game. I think he's averaging a double-double as well. Brooklyn Nets 2nd in the East. Phenomenal. Obviously, he's obviously playing with Kyrie and KD. Last night he played pretty well. You remember, like, last night if you guys watched, he made 2 threes back-to-back. That was insane, bro. I'm not even joking. 2 threes back-to-back. If you guys watched it, you guys probably won't know. So yeah, I mean, what else to say about James Harden? Like, he was phenomenal. When he first came to Brooklyn, he looked like a mess, bro. I'm not even joking. Like, his hair looked like a mess, but I mean, he was instantly being like a triple-double dude. So yeah, I mean, he definitely will be key for the Brooklyn Nets championship. I think he and KD, if they play at top form, they can win the championship. And I think, personally, Kyrie doesn't even have to play at top form. He can just assist them, get maybe like 15, 20 points a game, and KD and James Harden can handle it, bro. So yeah, I think James Harden will perform really well. And actually, like, there's one thing that is stopping him. The MVPs. He and Russell Westbrook, obviously, they are both MVPs. James Harden won the MVP in 2017-2018 season. But they're so similar. You know why? They didn't win a chip. I'm not joking. They didn't win a chip. So, yeah, so like those two have to prove themselves. But I think James Harden, he could win a chip. Like Brooklyn Nets have a good chance of winning a chip. And if James Harden wins a chip, it's gonna improve his legacy a lot. Because I think, like, if he wins a chip, he can be better than Russell Westbrook. Because right now, I see James Harden and Russell Westbrook, who's better. Right now, James Harden is better, but like overall in their careers, who's better? It's a tough one to say, but I think if he wins a chip, he's better than Russell Westbrook, and preferably a Finals MVP. But that might actually go to Kevin Durant. So I'm just saying, like, if he wins the chip, if he performs well in the playoffs, like at number 5, and if he might be able to salvage the Finals MVP, it can really improve his legacy a lot. So yeah, anyway, let's get to number 4. We have Giannis Antetokounmpo. So yeah, we have to talk about this guy now. So Milwaukee Bucks are 3rd in the West. No, third in the East. Yeah, 3rd in the East. Sorry about that. That was 3rd in the East. Actually, he, Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, dynamic 3 for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's averaging like 26, 27 points a game, something like that. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. And people are saying, like, oh, it'll help his legacy so much if he wins a chip this year. People are predicting that the Milwaukee Bucks will win the chip. But I'm not so sure, because I think, like, at least the top 3 for me are Lakers and Nets. They're a close battle. And then maybe the Bucks might be, but I'm not exactly sure, because, I mean, like, Giannis is young, like, obviously last year they got smacked by the Heat and Jimmy Butler. But yeah, I don't think he can be able to win a chip this year, but eventually in his career, I think he can win a chip. Obviously, he's a phenomenal player. We have to see in his career, because, like, will he move away from Milwaukee Bucks, or will he be like Kobe, who stays in a team for his whole career? And Kobe is a legend. He's top 10 greatest of all time. So even if Giannis stays at the same team for his whole career, he can still probably manage to be like top 20, maybe even top 10. He can probably. Well, we'll see. And number 3 was Kawhi. So yeah, this is just something that, like, some of you might be shocked at. But Kawhi, I mean, we have to sit down and talk about him. My first statement I'll make, if I shock you, he's underrated. That's number 1. Number 2, I mean, he's also averaging 25 points a game, He's with Chris Paul. Clippers are 3rd in the West. So yeah, I have to cover those 2. And 3rd is that he won 2 Finals MVPs, bro. He won 2. If the Clippers win the chip, for instance, he's gonna win Finals MVP. And if he wins Finals MVP, I think he has to be first ballot Hall of Famer. Even though he didn't win an MVP, I still think he has to be first ballot Hall of Famer. Because this guy is so underrated that, like, first of all, I kind of compare him with James Harden and Russell Westbrook sometimes, because, like, I'm like, who's better out of these 3? Actually, we all know that Kawhi didn't win an MVP like James Harden and Russell Westbrook, but he won 2 chips and 2 Finals MVPs, and that's actually a pretty good record. I'm not joking. So yeah, I mean, all the point I'm just trying to make is I think he's underrated. He should definitely be probably first ballot Hall of Fame, because this guy's so good. But yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. 3rd. Clippers are 3rd in the West, I believe. So yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. He and Paul George, they will do really good. And the reason I'm putting him at number 2 is that we've seen how this guy plays at the playoffs, but this guy plays, like, phenomenal in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm gonna put him number 3. And number 2, we have KD. I mean, obviously, I think this guy can probably lead the Nets to a championship. He and James Harden, these 2 guys can lead them to a championship. Obviously, KD got injured for half the season, but he's averaging 26 points a game, assisting Kyrie and James Harden a lot. Like, he passed it a lot. He's a unselfish player. He's a phenomenal player. Actually, I just said he's top 5 greatest shooters of all time. With Curry not being there, let me just say about that. I mean, he's best 3-point shooter, but yeah, anyway, Kevin Durant, he's top 5 best shooters of all time. He can shoot from anywhere, 3 in the paint, free throws, like pull-up shots, like he can really shoot from anywhere. And yeah, he's just gifted with that shooting. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a phenomenal player. Won 2 rings, 1 MVP, maybe 2 MVPs. But yeah, as soon as they came to the Warriors, he turned into another beast. So yeah, I think KD can definitely be in here. Maybe he can even be number 1 if the Nets win a championship. But we'll see. I don't know if they'll win a championship, but I'm putting him number 2 because this number 1 guy is just going to be phenomenal. Anyway, so we're getting into number 1. Drum roll, please. You guys probably know who this guy is, but Still, it's gonna be LeBron James. He'll be really crucial if the Lakers win a championship. It was hard to choose between him and Kevin Durant, but I had to go LeBron. You know, like 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs. How many regular season MVPs? Maybe 3 or 4 as well. I see the second best player of all time, at least for me, only after MJ. So yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Last year he won the chip. This year he might be able to win the chip again, 2 back-to-back. And yeah, I mean, people are just saying like if he wins a chip this year, we'll have to talk about who's better, LeBron or MJ. I mean, personally, I mean, this is just my opinion. So like, guys, like it's just my opinion. So don't get mad at me. But I'd still say that MJ would still be the GOAT because he won 6 championships. First of all, 6 Finals MVPs. And 5 regular season MVP. So I'm just saying, like, if say LeBron wins this year and next year, then we might have to talk about it. And if he wins like this year, next year, and wins the Finals MVPs for both years as well, we have to talk about it. But I think he also has to win at least 1 more MVP to even be in there. So he has to do a lot of stuff like 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, and at least 1 more MVP, or maybe 1 or 2 more MVPs. So yeah, I think he has to do a lot. But I mean, anyway, sidetracking from that, but I see he's averaging 25 points a game. Lakers are 7th in the West, but I mean, that doesn't really matter right now. AD came back. Like, these guys are going to dominate the Suns. I think the series is tied 1-1, but still. Now, LeBron is actually averaging the second half PPG in an active player, only behind number 2 plays Kevin Durant. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I literally explained to you how good Kevin Durant is. Highest PPG in active players. Bruh. I think he's like top 10 highest PPGs ever, actually, Kevin Durant as well. I mean, obviously, MJ is number 1. Wilt Chamberlain is number 2. But, yeah, like, I mean, Kevin Durant and LeBron James are averaging 27 points a game. Like, LeBron James, that's phenomenal. And he's 36 years old. And he's still doing, like, magic. And, you know, I mean, he's not averaging, like, the highest points in a game. But, I mean, he's averaging 20 to 25 points a game, you know, like, I mean, and that is, like, really, like, solid, you know, for a 36-year-old especially. One of the oldest players in the league. So, yeah, I mean, that concludes my list. Just running down through it one more time. Honorable mentions, you know, Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert, Randall, Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, James Harden, Giannis, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, and LeBron. So, yeah, that concludes it. I mean, I did a lot of work on this, so I really appreciate if you guys like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And yeah, my main thing is tennis, but I will be uploading a basketball video every once in a week. So I really appreciate if you guys still subscribed and liked and turned on those notifications. And I'll see you next time. Peace.